Hi! When I started my YouTube channel, one of the first series of videos I did was about the C library Open62541 for OPC UA. But 3 years is a very long time for a software, and so a lot of functions changed in the later versions. So I think my tutorials were based on version 1.2, and now we have version 1.3, and I think version 1.4 is in preparation too, so a lot of things changed. And I got a lot of comments and mails from viewers asking me, hey, how can I change the host name and the port number of an Open62541 server? Because this is one of the examples for things that changed in the new versions. In today's video I will show you how to do this in the current version 1.3.5, and in a later video I will also show you how to do this with the current version, which is on the master branch in GitHub. Okay, so the first thing we need is we have to download Open62541. So here I'm on the GitHub page of Open62541, and if I go to the releases, I see the latest release was 1.3.5. So let's download the source code here, and then we are going to build it. Okay, download has complete. Let me navigate into my programming folder, and let's unzip Open62541 here. Okay, done. Now I will cd into open in the source folder. Let me create a build folder where we can do the build, and let me go into it. Now I will have to run cmake, and to make it a little bit easier for me, I want to enable one specific option, because this will help me later to compile the files quite quickly, and I want to set the UA enable amalgamation to on, and this way I get the source file open62541.c and open62541.h containing most of the functions of the library. Okay, so let's run cmake. This looks good. And now we have a makefile we can run, and this should generate, or this should build Open62541. So let's do this. And I have 12 threads available to build the source. So this should be quite quick. Yeah, it's already done. And now if I look into my folder, I got the files open62541.c, open62541.h, and I guess in the bin folder we should have the compiled library lib open62541.a here. Okay, cool. So now I will open up a simple example for a minimal server, and I will modify it so we can change the host name and the port number of the OPC UA server. Therefore I will navigate into the examples folder, and I will copy the server.cpp to my server.c, and I will open it up. So this is the minimal example for an OPC UA server. In this server we have one integer variable packed into the objects folder, and this integer variable is called the answer. Okay, so now I will modify it a little bit. So here we could compile it with C++2, and therefore we have this using namespace std here, but we will just use C, so I can delete this. And here I will add the argument count and the pointer to my array of arguments. Because I want to run this program, the first argument can be a host name and the second argument can be a port number. Then I will declare a variable for the port number, and by default I set it to the 4840, so 4814, which is the default port for OPC UA. And now in case if the argument count is bigger than 2, I will set the port to the second argument which was passed, and I will convert the string to an integer with a toy. I know this function is a little bit unsafe, you shouldn't use it, you should use string to int instead, but okay, yeah, for this demonstration it's okay to use it. Okay, and now let's change the host name. So in case, or first, so here we are applying the config, and let me delete this UA server get config and create a new pointer from the type server config, and I will name it config, and here I will store the configuration we got from the server. And down here I can apply my config. And here in the config we can change the host name. So what we have to do here, in case the argument count is bigger than 1, then we have a host name passed. We have a host name, and we have a port number. Okay, so the first thing I will do is I will declare a UA string. I will name host, and I will convert it to a UA string with the function UA string, and this is the first argument passed to our program. Then the next thing I will do is I will clear the current host string, custom host name. Okay, and then in the next step I can copy our new host name, so host, and I want to copy this to config custom host name. Okay, and now we're already done. The last thing we have to do is we have to apply the config. Therefore I will call UA server config set minimal config, and this takes 3 arguments, this function. So the first argument is the config we want to apply. The second argument is the port number, and the last argument would be a pointer to a certificate for using TLS encryption, but I don't need this, so I can set this to null. Okay, and in case we don't have a host name set, I will just use the default configuration. And here I made a typo. First I had the name here UA server config set minimal config, but it's just set minimal, not set minimal config. Okay, and that should be it. So let me try to compile this program. So I want to compile my server.c, and from the build folder Open62541.c. The include file is located in build. Build. There is our file, and the output file should be my server. So let's see how much mistakes I've made. None. This is looking good. So let's run my server. Let's use localhost as a host and 4841 as the port number. Okay, and now you can see here my host name was set to localhost and the port number is 4841. Let me test this quickly by opening up OPC UA client. This is localhost and the port number. Let's connect to it, and here is our server, and we can find the answer in the server. Okay, cool. So that's how to set up a custom host name and port number on Open62541 version 1.3.5. I hope you've enjoyed the video and learned something. In case you want to support my work, you can buy my coffee on buymeacoffee.com/JohannesForLinux. So that's it for today. Thanks for watching and goodbye.